All right, guys. So second to last video here. You guys are almost done with this quiz. Um, the last assignment I want to show you guys about is Google Forms. So Google Forms is how I do most of my quizzes. And I want you guys to pay attention to this part because, first of all, quiz grades are that's the majority of your overall grade in any class at the Excel Center. But also, I give you guys a little bit of grace on these quizzes, and I want to show you what I mean. So the instructions say, please click on the link below to begin today's math quiz. Now, I'm not teaching math this term. I could teach math, and I might in the future, but this is just to show you how to use Google Forms. So I click on the link. It'll open it up. So first thing you ask you is to ask you your full name. So even though your name is usually attached to your email, I like to have that because it does make it easy to grade in some ways. And then it goes straight into the questions. So these questions may be multiple choice. They might be short answer. There might be something different. Of course, you guys have seen all that because you're taking a Google Form quiz right now. So first question, 1 plus 1. Well, that's easy as 1. 24 divided by 3, that's 8. Solve the integration below. Well, that's 402. Okay. So notice that there are two options at the bottom of your quiz. There's one that says send me a copy of my responses. You can choose that, had to have that on or off. So if you want to have a copy of what you answered, you can turn that on and it'll automatically generate an email with a copy of your responses. Some people like that for reviewing purposes. You don't have to turn that on. And by the way, I'm just joking with this last question, guys. You probably won't see a question quite that hard in the math classes here. Anyway, the last option is submit. So this submit button is like your turn in button. So a Google Forms, instead of saying turn in, will say submit, and it should be automatically turned in at that point. We might go back and double check on that to make sure I'm not lying. So I click on submit. And then this is important. I want you guys to look at this screen. And there are a few options I want you to pay attention to. First thing it says is view score. So I can look at the score that I just made. Edit your response. I wish they made this button bigger because this button is actually pretty important for me. And then open assignment. So if I don't have the assignment open Google Classroom, I can open the assignment here. Oh, of course, it shows it from my teacher account. That's not it. Anyway, it'll look like this. So yeah, it is turned in. So that submit button, when I click on submit on Google Forms, since Google Classroom, Google Forms like this, once I click on that submit button on Google Forms, it will be turned in Google Classroom as well. So let's go. I'm back on the quiz now, and I'm going to click on view score. Oh my gosh, I got the first question wrong. 1 plus 1 is not 1, it's 2, of course. Anyway, when you were taking the quiz, I think it should have shown you some point values. I'll go back to that and show you. So here it says 0 out of 2 points. The next question was kind of harder, so it's 3 out of 3 points. The last question is really hard, so it's 5 points. I got 5 out of 5 points. Man, how did I get that first question wrong? I wish there's a way I could go back and change it. So I can close this tab. I've seen my responses. And I'm going to click on, there's a button that says edit your response. So I can click on edit your response. And oh, look at this. It's just like I'm taking the quiz again. And yes, I can see the point values. So if I click on edit my response, I can change my answers. Like, okay, well, the right answer was not 1. Maybe it was 3. No, it's 2. 2 is the right answer. 1 plus 1 is 2. I click on submit again, because that's the only answer I got wrong. And I can view my score. And okay, good. I got a 10 out of 10 this time. All right, so I got all my answers right. Notice that if you got an answer wrong, it won't show you the right answer. That's because I want to force you guys to try again until you get it right. Now, some of these questions, like this little short answer one, I might have to go back in there as a teacher and grade those answers. So you might not get feedback from me right away. So let's say you've closed out of those tabs, but you want to know, well, after I grade it, you want to actually try that assignment again. So I would go back to the class, go to classwork, go to that Google form, and then I would click on the math quiz link. And it says I've already responded. You can only fill out the form once, but then look at the bottom. That edit your response button is still there. So even after I've graded a quiz, like it was an essay quiz or a short answer quiz, whatever, I click on edit my response. And as long as the quiz is not past the due date, guys, I'll let you try the quiz as many times as you want. So you can always click on edit your response to go in there and change your answers. And as long as I see the assignment is turned in before the due date, I will take it and I will grade it. So go and answer the questions below this video. There's one more video about teacher and student communication, and then you guys are going to be done with my Google Classroom tutorial. There are a few other tutorials I'll show you throughout the week and maybe next week, but for this big old tutorial quiz, you guys will be done after the next session. So answer the questions below, and then I'll see you in just a second.